Hello and welcome to my first Stitch with Me. Actually, take two. um, I'm going to start over. It's okay. So I'm working on the Saturn V blueprint. It's by Lord Libidan. And let me zoom out a little. This is what it kind of will look like when it's done. And I'm using a dark blue 16 count Ada and just white DMC. So yeah, so I was working on this part earlier, and as you can see, or maybe not, there's a lot going on in that section, and talking, counting, and stitching in the right place at the same time, it's not my thing. So yeah, let's start over. So I will put in a picture of what it looks like, I think. And yeah, I have my light pad underneath so I can see the holes better. It's very bright, so I put a paper in between. It's actually very thick. It's like cardstock, and it's still very bright. So I hope this will work. I have to fill in a lot of this part with just regular stitches, so that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, just grab your stitching, and I hope I don't mess up and I don't don't ramble. I want to do the Christine tag from Christine Stitch All the Things. I've wanted to do a Stitch with Me for the longest time. Even before I started my first floss tube, I was thinking about just doing a Stitch with Me time-lapse kind of thing, and yeah, I never did. I didn't know what to talk about. Then a few months ago, I actually filmed a Stitch with Me. I think it was on Stitching in Quilt, which I have to get back on. Let's see, maybe this is better. If it will focus. Yes. So I didn't know what to talk about, and the last time it was kind of a ramble about life stuff, and I can ramble, but it wasn't really I wasn't really happy with it, so I never uploaded it. I think I even deleted it. And yeah, so last week Christine made her own tag, so she had some random things to talk about, and I actually like it. So I wrote down her questions, and I'm going to answer them. And I hope I'm not rambly or say weird things, because English is my second language and it's not the best. So we will see where this will go. And yeah, so if you want the list of all the questions, it's in Christine's video in the description, and I will put in a link to that video. So the first question, let's see. Have you ever called into a radio station, and why? Yes, I did. I think it's about 3 or 4 years ago. I was working night shifts at... I have to think a lot about what certain words are in English. So it was the kind of a distribution center for a large mail order company, and what I did there was order picking, so going everywhere to pick up someone's order, package it, and send it out. And I did it at night, so sometimes I would drive back home around 3 or 4 at night, and I had trouble staying awake. I would always listen to the same radio station. For all the Dutch people, it was Q Music. And at night there was a DJ, and every night he wanted to try and get people on the phone so he could talk to them and fill his program, because it's night. He had a hard time, and he was just asking, what are you doing? Where are you? Are you going somewhere? What are you doing? So I called in, and we talked for a little during a song, and it never aired. So I think I was too boring. I was just driving home and trying to stay awake, and yeah, so that's what happened. It was a nice talk, but I was too boring. So, let's see the next question. What was an odd task or chore you were given as a child? So I didn't really have a lot of words. I had a long day. I didn't really have a lot of chores when I was a child. Of course, I had to help out with certain things, clean the table after dinner, cleaning my room, just regular things. And the only thing I could think of being odd, or not the best choice maybe, is cleaning windows, because I'm terrible at that. I always was, and my mother used to do house cleaning for a friend of theirs. And when I was little and wasn't going to school, so I was 3 or 4, maybe, no, 3, she would give me a bucket with some soap and supplies to clean a window, and she just let me do that. And I don't know if she ever redid it, and when I was older and there was a type of free day at school, she always let me clean the windows there. And why that's weird to me is because I'm terrible at cleaning windows. I always get stripes, and I'm terrible. So yeah, that's weird. Even now my mom comes and cleans my windows, because when I do, you can see it. You can see I clean the windows because there are new stripes. it's embarrassing. I'm 31 and I don't know how to get a clean window. But it's okay. So, question 3 is, do you remember any recurring dreams from your childhood? So, I actually have 2. One, I always dreamt a lot. I still do. A lot of nightmares. And yeah. So one dream that came back a lot was a kind of dream about a train. There was a train track. You can see the end from the other end. Oh, this is going to be a great story with my trouble with words. So, a train track with station A and station B. And I had to run from the one to the other before the train would get there. And I don't know how I could run faster than a train, but I could because I was 4 at the time or something. And I had to press a button or something before the train would get there. And then I had to run back to the other side and press the button. It was kind of a microwave button or something because it would it would ping if I pushed it. I don't know. My brain was weird. And I really remember this because after waking up, I sometimes swear I still heard the train. And I had this dream for about a week, and I would scream for my mother and told her, but I still hear it when I'm trying to go to sleep. And I was a really wild sleeper. I would move around a lot, and the next time my mother changed my sheets, she found a little toy car or train, I don't know what, next to my bed. My father made my bed, so it wasn't a store-bought bed, but he is, I don't know the word. He can make furniture, so he made our beds. When I would move, there was a little piece next to my bed where the car was, and when I would move, the car would move, and I would hear the car going back and forth. So that is one that I remember. The second one, from a really young age, I would have lucid dreams. So I could kind of choose what I was dreaming. I still have it sometimes, and I think it's great now because if my dream goes in a certain direction I don't like, I just think about something else and change it. So I don't have nightmares that often because I can kind of reinvent my dream. And a nightmare I had as a child, I think it came back like every night for a month. It was in a forest and there were monsters because I was young and then you dream about monsters. And I was in a forest and the monsters were trying to get me. And it was kind of a maze. So I would go left, right, right, left. And every time I took a wrong turn, there was a monster and he would get me and I would wake up screaming. So the next time I remembered I had to go right instead of left, so I didn't run into a monster. And every time I could go further into the maze, and it was weird. So yeah, that's kind of what I remember. And I think I had to cut here and there because I was rambling and searching for words. So if that happens sometimes, I'm sorry. So I have to flip my notes to go to the next question. Question 4. Can you curl your tongue? Yes, I can. I think it's not something you can learn. Either you can or you can't do it. So today I was listening to Christine's tag and also the one by Michelle Benstitchi. And I was curious to see if my kids could do it. And my son can, and he is 4. My daughter, she either didn't know how to and didn't really understand what I was asking her. She just stick out her tongue. Oh, grammar, you guys, grammar. So I don't know if she just can't do it or she has to train it. I don't know. But I can. There's the hole. Question 5. What is something you've struggled with throughout your whole life? We're going deep here. There are a lot of things I've struggled with, and a big one I think is being self-love, knowing myself, and not this is where the language is different, because I can explain it in Dutch, but in English it's a little bit hard. So I never knew, I have to say, I never knew if I was good enough, a good enough friend, a good enough daughter, a good enough girlfriend, a good enough everything. If I was pretty enough, if I was thin enough. I struggled with my weight from a young age. I was in a group with 5 girls. I grew up in a really small town, in a really we call it a boerendorp, which is a farmer's village kind of thing. Yeah. So I was there with 4 other girls, and I wasn't a fat kid. I wasn't. I was just normal. But the other girls were very thin. So I got picked on because they called me fat, but I really, when I see pictures, I think I really wasn't a big kid. And I got picked on because I was bigger than the other girls, and it was an easy thing to tease about. And it made me really insecure from a really young age, and it still does. I still struggle with my weight, and now I'm at the point I really want to lose a lot. But it's hard because I'm an emotion eater. And yeah. Just that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to love myself more and to see my qualities and my strengths. And I really try to be the kindest, best version of me. And let's be honest, no one is perfect. No one. But yeah, we all have our struggles, and this is mine. Just a hanging tail. So, yeah. So, I'm really trying to have a better self-image. Is that a word? So, that's something I'm working on. And the next question: can you parallel park or drive a stick shift? Yes to both. But I think here in the Netherlands it's not really a weird thing, or because if you learn to drive, you will drive a stick, and a part of your exam is parallel parking. that said, I was terrible learning to drive because my ex-boyfriend at the time, he kind of taught me how to drive, and it was wrong. Not only driving without a license, but also the way he taught me to drive. So I learned wrong, and I had to erase that from my memory. And just a snip. So I had lessons for a long time. And when it was time to go for my exams, I messed up. I was so nervous. And again, I was afraid I wasn't good enough. And I failed. And the second time I failed. And the third time I failed. All because of my insecurities. So, yeah, it was terrible. And I can parallel park, but I don't have to that often. I don't drive that much anymore. Because when I was living, I moved to the city about 6 years ago, I think. Yeah, 6 years. And before that, I had to drive a lot. And since I live here, I don't drive that much anymore because the, how do you call it? Public transportation, the bus, the train. It's great over here. So I'm not going to pay for a car, an extra car, when I don't really need it. So I always had kind of a small car, and I could park it anywhere. Parallel parking wasn't my favorite way of parking. I just like to park normally. And let's see, where's my start? When we got kids, we needed a bigger car, and with a bigger car and parallel parking, I don't like it. But now we have a new car, and it has cameras everywhere, and I don't know how it works, but you can even let your car park itself. So I have to find out how it works. But I parallel parked today. And at first I was a little bit clumsy, but then I remembered how it goes, and I parked perfectly. So yes, I still can park parallel. Okay, with cameras, but it was perfectly parked. So yeah. Next one. Oh, drive a stick. Yeah, I drove a automatic car once, and I was terrified. I love having a certain kind of control, and I didn't have the feeling I had it in that car. And it was really small, and I had 3 kids in the back seat, which I was babysitting, and I hated it. So if I don't have to, I don't want to. So yeah, I can't find it. So next question. How well do you react when the internet is slow or your PC acts up? So I'm not terrible with it. I'm spoiled with really fast internet, so when it's a little bit slow, I don't really like it, and I just go and do something else, or not search what I was searching for, just do something else. I really try to, when there's something bothering me, I'm really trying to think, is it worth my energy to make a big thing out of it? And most of the time the answer is no, no way. So I just move on and try again later. And when my PC acts up, that's another story. I'm not a really technical person, and my boyfriend, he is. He's a programmer, so he has to be. And a lot of times when I have to do something technical, I will ask him for help. And then I would get insecure and we will argue over it. And I am just afraid to mess things up. And he just wants to explain, but I will not listen. And so when my PC acts up, I get frustrated and I just walk away. I'm not that technical, and yeah, not my, it's not my thing. Just let me do my stitching and I'm happy. So, next question. 8. Have you ever sent a meal back at a restaurant? Yes, twice. Maybe more times, but I remember 2 times. One time I was out with a friend. We were going to the movies and we had a meal before. And it was at a Greek restaurant. And we just had some meat and different things. But because we were both pregnant, we told the waiter, we told the waiter we didn't want red meat because you're not supposed to eat it while pregnant. And he was arguing with us that it wasn't going to taste as well if he would do it well done. And we told him, we don't want red meat, we're pregnant, we can't eat it. And when our meal came, the dish we ordered was a mixed grill. So we got 3 pieces of meat. One of them was chicken, so we knew that would be okay. And there was kind of a steak kind of thing. And normally I want it rare. Anyway, I cut open my meat and it was red. So I called the waiter and he was arguing with us, but it's not going to taste well if we bake it longer. And it was terrible. He didn't want to bake it and we didn't want to eat it. So yeah, not a really good restaurant if you don't listen to your customers. And I think he also didn't understand it wasn't because a taste kind of thing, but we didn't want red meat. So yeah. And the second time was actually a few weeks ago at McDonald's. Oh, it's terrible. So I'm not a vegetarian, but I really like the home-style crispy chicken burger, veggie burger. I think it just tastes better than the regular chicken burger. And I don't like bacon. A lot of people are going to scream at me right now, but I don't like bacon. And on the regular burger, there's bacon. And a while back, we went to the drive-thru and I ordered my veggie burger and they put bacon on it. On a veggie burger. So I thought, well, I just take it off and it's okay and whatever. And it will taste a little bit like bacon, but I'm not going to waste my energy on it. So next time I went to McDonald's, it happened again. And over the course of about 4 months, the same McDonald's, it happened every time I was there. I think it was 3 times. So the last time I was there with my mom and the kids, and I was just over it. It happened again. We weren't in the drive-through, but just in the restaurant, and I got my burger, and it was bacon on it. So I thought I had enough. So I went to someone who worked there, and I explained I ordered a veggie burger. It says veggie, but it has bacon on it. So she brought it back and came back to me with another veggie burger, and I opened it, and there was bacon on it. So, I went back again because I ordered a veggie burger and I didn't want bacon, and it happened every time. So, the third time, I got my veggie burger with no bacon. So, yeah, it was when it happens just once. Like I said, I'm not a vegetarian, and if there's bacon on it, I can take it off. But after it happening so much, I was just I wanted to spend my energy on it. So yeah, I used to work in restaurants, and I strongly believe if you don't like your food, you have to pay for it. So if you don't like it, say it. So they can give you something you're willing to pay for. That's just how it is. If it's not good, you bring it back. So, yeah. Next question. It's a food one as well. It's 30 minutes until dinner time, and you haven't planned anything to make. What do you do? Well, this happens a lot in the weekends. I'm not really a meal planner anyway. I try to be, but I'm not. And most of the meals I make are just under 30 minutes, so it's not a really big problem. I would just dive in my big closet and see what we have in the pantry. And if I don't have anything I can make, I always have flour, eggs, milk, and some other things. So I will say to the kids, let's make pancakes. And they would be just over the moon. We're eating pancakes, yay! It's just a last resort meal for me, and they think it's fantastic. So, yeah, it's okay. And sometimes we will order some food, but most of the time it will take a while to get here, sometimes an hour or more, and it's not a last 30-minute thing. But we don't always eat at a certain time. So, yeah. Question 10. Is there a word you have always pronounced incorrectly, but didn't realize it until later in life? Yes. Well, not really, but especially in English, I struggle a lot with words. It's just because I don't speak it daily, and my mind just goes Dutch, and I have to say it in English, so my pronunciation is not the best. But in Dutch, I don't really think I say things wrong, or maybe I haven't found out yet. Nobody told me. But I do have a problem with grammar. Dutch grammar is hard. And I can try and explain it, but that's even harder. Because the words in English are really different. And it's just a grammar thing. And a lot of people are doing it wrong. And there are also certain words I learned as a child. And those words really are made up. Because the region I'm coming from, it has a really strong dialect. And my my mother uses words now which I will ask her, what do you mean? And she will tell me what it means for her. And I will search it in an online dictionary, and the word just it doesn't exist. It's a made up word. And a lot of words I use sometimes are either dialect or made up words by one of my parents or someone else. And when I say so when I sometimes say something, my boyfriend will look at me and we will get an argument if the word even exists or whatever. And sometimes they do, and he is wrong, and most of the time they don't. And I just use made up words, which is okay by me. So, the last question: what is your social media pet peeve? Well, I actually have a lot. I don't like social media. I'm over it. I use my Instagram just for stitchy things. And I don't really use my Facebook anymore. There are a few stitchy groups I'm in, but that's it. I don't like social media because I don't think it is social. It's asocial media because people are mean. People are really mean. And sometimes they think they can say something because you don't have to say it in someone's face. Or they think they have to give their opinion when nobody asked for it. Just people are mean. And especially on social media. I've been in some Facebook groups, and most of the time people were just mean. And sometimes I would get in an argument because I wanted to defend someone or defend an opinion or just give someone the right to their own opinion. And I'm just a really sensitive person. So I there were multiple times I was just crying over social media problems because someone said something which I thought it was unfair, and yeah, just a real big mess. But if I open my social media, it's for relaxing, and I want to see things that I like and happy things. So that's why I only use my Instagram for stitchy things. I like looking at it and it's relaxing for me. And Facebook wasn't that for me anymore. I believe everyone must do what makes them happy. And social media is not something that makes me happy. Facebook is, YouTube is, because you can choose what you will look at. And Instagram, like I said, is just for stitchy things. I don't have a personal Instagram, and that's okay. But yeah, social media. I'm a little bit over it. I would like to be entertained and just fill my life with happy stuff. And I'm not, how do I say this? I still acknowledge all the bad stuff that's going on in the world because it's a lot. And I think it's important to look for things that make you happy. Yeah. So, that was a serious ending. So this was the Christine tag. And I just filled in to the point that this block is finished, I think. Let me see. Yeah. So I will continue working on this bit for a while. Let's see. I think I have to continue here. So yeah, this was the Christine tag. It's just 45 minutes of me rambling and trying to stitch and trying to say words. So yeah, let me know what you think. And then my video got cut off. So after filming, I continued stitching for a bit, and I will show you that in a minute, because what I think I was trying to say is let me know what you think about this video. There may have been some cuts here and there to prevent rambling, because I rambled and I had trouble with words, but I like doing this video. And yeah, just let me know if you have any tips, tricks, anything, just tell me. So I rolled out my stitching. Let's see if this is any better. Yeah. This is what it looks like at the moment. I have to pick out second stage because this is third, this is second, this is first. I stitched for quite a while after filming. I did this portion, came down, and yeah, did quite a lot. I'm almost at the bottom. So this piece, my boyfriend was really he really wanted to see some progress, so I'm hoping to fill in this rocket today and tomorrow, because he will be gone all day tomorrow, and it would be nice to finish it and show him when it's done, because he really likes this one, and so do I. So my goal for today and tomorrow is rip this out, finish all the words, and finish this rocket, and I only have to do the what's that piece called? The lunar module. Yeah, so this piece I have to do another time, but this one I can finish this weekend. Let me see if I can put it next to each other. Kind of. So yeah, I like it. So once again, let me know what you think if you have tips or tricks for me. And yeah, I want to thank you for watching. And if you also want to do the tag, check out Christine's um Christine's video. And yeah, thanks again. Bye bye.